Accepting our invitation, and I think that was a wonderful speech. I think it's a critical moment for me because to be speaking after such a wonderful orator puts you in a very predicament. So I want to take this time, forgive me for my demeaning status. I want to take this time to thank you once again. You know, Brother Kone talked about his distance from settlements that are predominantly Mandingo. But if you look at his name, Wilmer Kone, it sounds like what? Kone. So Mr. Wilmer is a Kone from that eastern side. So I think it's not a surprise to have a brother among us. I think the selection was not a mistake. And we want to welcome you, Brother Kone, to the Kone people can share that. Our honorable guest speaker, Mr. Wilmer Kone, Chairman of the Board of Directors of ULA, Mr. Famo Kone, Kone people, Chairman of the Board of Directors of FELMAUSA, my honorable Vice President for Administration, Mr. Fofana, my Vice President for Operation, Abdullah Kosha, our chapter leaders, the Vice President of ULA, Eastern Region, Mr. Bamba Fofana, our eminent representative here, Brother Kesselin, our own big brother, FELMAUSA members, officials, and members of the hosting organization, Lima, and our friendly organizations, our sisters who represent the Guinean side here present, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Our progress is an attribute to the spirit of FELMAUSans, to the resolve of our coalition, and to the might of our previous leaders. When I call on FELMAUSA to take an action, or to execute a plan, I did so with the complete confidence in his and her courage and skill. And today, thanks to you for making this convention a convention possible. Our cause is just and it continues. Our discoveries in FELMAUSA shows us that the scope of task ahead, thanks to the work of our distinguished committee members, we have received several proposals predicated on helping ourselves in the USA and friends and family in Liberia. Tonight we will be discussing some of the cardinal points of our administration. We'll be talking about what we dream of as an administration in the years to come. We believe that in years to come, we need to have every administration or every organization needs to have a headquarters. My administration will continue to be steadfast, patient, and persistent in the pursuit of our objectives. My hope is that all chapters will heed our call and support the work of my administration. My first priority in that FELMAUSA can do for us, and what FELMAUSA can do for us in America, and that is reflected in the budget I sent to the Board of Directors. My budget supports 3 great goals for FELMAUSA. The FELMAUSA Community Outreach, an empowerment center to be built and established in Philadelphia, a medical relief and assistance program to Liberia and FELMAUSA Education Scholarship Program. Coming to the FELMAUSA Community Outreach and Empowerment Center, the objective of the Community Center are to provide an optional headquarters for the Federation. It shall engage in sports and recreation programs through the Sport Committee, Social Committee, and cultural programs through the Social Committee and Education Initiative for community members of all ages and stages in life through the Education Committee. It shall support the educational development of children by initiating homework club, specifically targeting children whose parents cannot help with their homeworks, and by establishing an after-school program for kids. The Community Center shall provide a safe haven that keeps our youth and kids away from violence. It will provide an alternative to gang and street life, allowing our kids to develop new skills and interact positively with peers. It shall offer our youth the hope and opportunities to facilitate awareness both of the problems and temptations they face and of abilities and potential they have to overcome them. It shall help new members of the community to transition from their new lives, provide English classes and Mandingo literature training, because it has been realized and recognized that the Mandingo tribe has developed an alphabet, and those of us who are Mandingo now have learned the Mandingo through our parents, and we believe that our children should begin now to learn the Mandingo the way we learn the Mandingo. Our children must begin now to develop the skills, the technology of the Mandingo tribe, since it has been able to create an alphabet that are currently in practice in most West African countries. So we want to make sure that in the community center, these are some of the classes and opportunities we'll be providing to our kids. We also will train them, give them cultural orientation. We also will help to train and have a cultural orientation to adults to facilitate their integration into the American society. It shall provide in-home services as needed through volunteers of our community. Apart from that, we want to concentrate on the medical relief assistance program, which the guest speaker highly spoke about. We want to improve this program. It is our idea we intend to conduct a medical care in areas that are underdeserved and where the need for such help is prevalent. In consultation with the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, other essential profit and non-profit institutions, and various FELMAUSA medical coordinators in Monrovia and its environs, various sites will be identified based on needs and location. The target audience will be adults 22 to 100 years of age. Malnourished children and orphanage centers will also receive donations to be determined as the mission implementation draws nearer. The missioners will also make donations to various hospitals in different counties based on the strategic location and recommendation from our partners, the Mandingo Caucus and other partners in Liberia. The objective of this program, we've decided to transform the medical relief mission from a mission stage to a program, because we intend to perpetuate this assistance, because we believe that when the medical mission was launched, it was primarily intended to have a one-shot occasion. But we have realized that the water has been tested and there are more desire for this mission. So this is why we're trying to transform it to a program type so that it becomes an annual event and a perpetual activities between us and our partners in Liberia. One of the objectives of this project is to provide free medical care to the Liberian communities through mobile and established clinics where patients will be provided and they are provided with medication. This aspect will encompass donation of medical supplies and equipment to hospitals and clinics that will be identified by the medical program committee. My administration, together with the committee, has engaged the Mandingo caucus sought the assistance of underwriting some of the costs affiliated with the project. Today I'm proud to announce the caucus has expressed interest in the project and is willing to underwrite most of the costs to be incurred in Liberia. The FELMAUSA Education and Scholarship Program. As you may know, 4 years ago, FELMAUSA launched a laudable scholarship program to assist students who are enrolled in four-year colleges around Monrovia. While the project remains commendable, my administration has learned through our hard-working chairman of the Education Committee, sometimes called the Department of Education, Mr. Mohammed Sharif, that there is a real need for restructuring the many areas of concentration. In fact, a review of the 2011 scholarship documents showed that there was a lot more preliminary work for the appointed committee to do than we had initially anticipated. For example, the committee did not find any tracking mechanism to assess the progress of scholarship recipients. No record was found of any beneficiary who has graduated or found work or started businesses. FELMAUSA has no record of how many students have been sponsored since the inception of the program. The organization also has no record of the amount spent on scholarship to those 4 years and what returns have been made on those investments. Last but not least, there are no particular areas of emphasis and no quota system in the provision of the scholarship. The committee discovered that the scholarships were awarded irrespective of specializations. This, therefore, entitled the balance in favor of students enrolled in the social and sciences, particularly sociology and business courses such as management and accounting. These are areas that have traditionally attracted large concentration of students. But for a nation that has been through 14 years of civil war, the committee believes that the critical fields such as healthcare, engineering, agriculture, education, teaching and teachers, legal studies, science and technologies are national imperatives. The chairman, Honorable Sharif, while believing that all fields are important, has recommended that we make choices due to limited resources and place emphasis on critical need areas. My administration, therefore, will accept the committee's recommendation to restructure the priorities of the program. The restructuring will take into account the provisions of a comprehensive education system, mostly a 4-year scholarship to include tuition fees, books, reasonable transportation, and in essence, allowances. There will be a tracking system put in place to monitor the progress